Yep.
I absolutely love the dynamics between Darcy and Asta. And of course, it wouldn't be complete. You have two additional party members as of last season, that are in the girls' club with Kate, and then obviously your misfit friend as well. What kind of, with Judy, of course. What are some group activities we'll be exploring this season?
Oh, oh,
Good
I think
this
we
is a
saw Judy
good
season
question.
question. Okay,
Yeah.
Jamie.
well, thank
Group
you.
activities.
Okay, so it's less there. We didn't
Actually,
get as many group
we didn't
activities,
get
but
as
we did
many.
get some. Well, there's Judy's birthday.
Oh, oh, is that a thing?
Well,
Yeah. We can't tell.
not it's not a
Can't talk
group.
to you about
It's not a
that.
group activity.
Oh yeah, I think there's actually the group splits a little bit this season, and there's more like little duos that happen that you
Right.
haven't seen yet. Especially you and Alan,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And I
And
think that I do miss that a bit because it would have been nice, I think, to have during all
uh
of
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Sorry, can't talk
hey,
about that either.
we didn't have a ton of time. We had to get 8 episodes in. And I think I think the writers did a really good job. And the other actors who aren't me did a really good job.
In terms of the group dynamic of the show, though, I think season three is our strongest yet. I think, we get a chance to really come out of our shell fully. We all, those of our fans who have been with us this whole time, thank you so much, by the way. You're the reason we're still alive.
You know who you are.
You get to see us really just lean on each other and lean into each other in these new ways this season that we haven't yet gotten to experience. Where we got to have an actual group dynamic, awesome episode in season two where we did Harry's birthday party. And we might not necessarily have that
That's
kind
right.
of scene going on in season three, but there's a lot of you can just feel a chemistry with our entire cast, no matter who's on screen. And that to me is just, it's gold. That's why we're still alive.
It's spun gold.
We're still alive.
Right, this is more about the friendship between the two of you. What I want to know is obviously that now Alice knows the secret, and it's kind of their secret, really, because I mean, her, Asta's father knows, but for the most part, it's just the two of them. How does that strengthen or make their friendship evolve with now that they're kind of in the same boat, I guess, so to speak?
I think without saying too much, I was gonna say it was Asta having to keep this big, big secret. And then there's this moment where it shifts in season 3, right? And like Asta starts to Darcy, who am I?
Who are you?
I'm
You're
I am, and I
Darcy.
am, starts to be the one to kind of she's trying to shield. She thinks that, I think that for me at least, Darcy's arc has been about like figuring out how to be less selfish, less destructive to her friendships, and kind of like watching somebody grow means they make mistakes and they kind of course correct a little too much in certain ways. And so we get a little bit of I would say maybe Darcy carrying a little more than she should at a certain point, right? Which is
And Asta not giving a shit anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
well, and Asta needing to invest in herself, which is very healthy.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's a very good growing place for their friendship this season.
Yeah, I mean,
Even yeah.
it's so nice to be able to just rely on you now in that way. I mean, I've relied on you for so long,
Yeah, and it's so nice for me to
to not be able to tell you that for so long. It was
Yeah.
exhausting keeping that lie going. So it was so great when I finally got to release that to you. And now it's a really interesting sharing of this information where I'm now sort of teaching Darcy, like, that's just who he is. He doesn't mean to do that X, Y, or Z. Like he doesn't know right from wrong. He's still learning. You need to have patience, impatience. And like I feel like there's this great opportunity for Asta to sort of play a mother role she never got
Yeah.
to play before without being condescending to both of them, and also step away like maybe a mom would if
Yeah.
she was an empty nester and say, look, I trust you now, you guys go and do your thing, I'm going to figure out who I am now.
You get to see Asta having patience.
In patience.
When normally you see her at the hospital having patience with her patients
Oh
and
my
patients.
God.
And now
we just keep going with that. The point is, our friendship is evolving, and so far in the first 4 episodes,
So far.
it's a good dynamic.
Good dynamic.
We'll see if it stays that
We'll
way.
see.
Right, thanks.
Alice, I love that Darcy has sort of self-evolved as well. She's aware of what she does to self-sabotage, and I think we saw that as well when she had a little bit of love in her life last season. Where does she stand personally this season with herself?
I mean, I know it seems like for me, okay, let me rephrase. I know that Darcy was getting kind of scared having some real feelings for somebody, and that was just, I mean, hard for me as an actor because it was a lot, and but a wonderful challenge. I cannot say enough good things about Justin Rain, my co-star. He is so good and so wonderful to work with, but she really is kind of starting to come to grips with the fact that her actions have consequences on other people, and it's a long road to that kind of understanding. It's a really long haul. So I don't think that she 100% gets there, and she really needs to figure out what it's like to love herself. A lot of her validation comes from, I mean, all her validation comes from Asta, and outside of herself, skiing and competitions, and for a while Elliot, and it's like she has not found that self-love that enables somebody to not destroy everyone around them. So she's getting there.
She's learning.
And I think being around Harry is like weirdly,
I'm telling you,
it's so crazy,
bizarre.
but
this alien comes into our lives and then somehow teaches us how to be more human.
Yeah, there's a scene I'm thinking of in particular where Darcy and Harry are talking over their shit, and they kind of figure some stuff out that
they bond.
Really, and it's really unexpected.
Yeah.
All right, we have time for one last quick question. So go ahead, Jamie.
Sarah, I wanted to know if you could talk. I assume it's Jamie. I wanted to know if you could talk a bit about Asta. She gets to go on an interesting date that Harry sort of is not necessarily happy about. So can you tease a little bit, whatever you're allowed to say about that?
Yes. Asta has a slight attraction to a new officer on the force named Joseph.
Slight.
And she goes on her first date since her divorce from Jimmy. And she's very uncomfortable, and it's she's not sure she's ready, but she does it anyway. And unfortunately, it runs into some problems after the fact, finding out very interesting information about him, which kind of in this weird way reminds us like how easily women shame themselves when something goes wrong. Like,
literally
she like is like, how could I not have known?
Yeah, it's just literally like
this manipulative situation was happening, and I feel like you would think that she wouldn't trust anybody anymore, but at least she can
literally
come home
the moment
and tell Darcy about it, and then there's this real beautiful moment between her and Harry at the end of the first season for season 3. I mean, the end of the first episode for season 3, where they agree to team up and figure some stuff out together, and it is such a beautiful moment, and it's also a great realization that Asta's ready to take on more responsibility, but also on her terms, let him go and trust him that he's not, that he won't do anything to harm her or the people she loves.
Yeah.
There's proof of that in season 1 and 2. She finally gets to kind of rest a little bit this season, which is nice.